Hello friends, welcome to my channel Simple Gardening. Today in this video we will be looking at how to grow onions from seed. Onion, a majorly consumed vegetable across the world. Onions vary in size, shapes and colors. Onions can be grown through seed or by sets. In my personal opinion, it's economical to grow onions from seed than from sets. So here I had selected red onion variety to grow in pots. As a matter of fact, the seeds doesn't need soaking, but I prefer to soak seeds overnight to soften the seed outer cover. After soaking the seeds for 8 to 10 hours, select a small pot for sowing the seeds. It is better to go for transplanting of seedlings than direct sowing. Any variety of onion seeds, how fresh they might be, will have only 70 to 75% of germination ratio. For seed starter, I had taken 50% of coco peat, 30% of vermicompost, 10% of red soil and 10% of rice husk. So here I had sprinkled the seeds gently and evenly onto the soil surface and cover it with a thin layer of the same mix and water gently. Seed starter mix should be very well friable and it should have a good water holding capacity, as well as it should not harden as garden soil. It should be very friable and have a very good drainage system. Basically, the seeds, onion seeds, will take 5 to 15 days to germinate and they will be ready within 30 to 35 days after germination. As I had used vermicompost in the seed starting mix, so I did not add any type of fertilizer additionally. But if you want, you can add compost tea, or else you can add seaweed solution once a week. Now my seedlings are ready to transplant, and using a kurpi, uproot the seedlings along with the soil so that the roots will not be damaged. And the best height to transplant is when the seedlings attain 15 to 20 centimeters in height. When roots get damaged, usually the seedlings will undergo transplantation shock. So it takes almost 3 to 5 days to recover from the shock. So we should be very careful while uprooting the seedlings for transplantation. Here you can see the roots are very healthy and the seedlings had attained almost 15 to 20 centimeters, which is very ideal for transplantation, and the roots are very healthy and there is no damage observed on the roots. Onion can be grown in any type of soil, starting from sandy soils till heavy clay soils. Onion roots grow very shallow, so it is better to take wide pots than deep pots. A minimum of 6 to 8 inch depth pots are enough if you want to grow them in pots. A preferable size of a pot is, the width should be a minimum of 12 inch to 16 inch, so that more number of seedlings can be accompanied in a single pot. And coming to the pH of the soil, onions cannot be grown in acidic soils, but they can tolerate moderate alkaline soil. And while you are planting the seedlings, maintain a spacing of 1 to 2 inch between each seedling. The more gap between the seedlings, the bigger the bulb size at the harvest. So make 1 inch deep holes and transplant the seedling in the pots or else in the ground. And soon after planting or else soon after transplantation, you have to irrigate very well so that the seedlings will absorb the water as well as the required nutrients, and they will not undergo any type of transplantation shock, and they will recover within a period of 24 to 48 hours. Here for my potting soil, I have used 40% of coco peat, 30% of vermicompost, 20% of red soil and 10% of rice husk. That's sufficient and it will help the seedlings grow very well. And the water holding capacity will be very good because I am using 40% of coco peat as well as I have used rice husks. So it acts as a perlite and it aids in better drainage. After transplantation, And after irrigating your newly transplanted seedlings, place your pot in direct sunlight. Onion needs minimum 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight for better growth and yields. Onion plants carry a good companionship with all plants, and they pose nil to very minimal competition amongst the different varieties. Here, I had planted along with my jasmine plant, lemon plant, orange plant, tomato plant, and chili plant also. And I never observed any sort of competition between the two different species in case of watering, space, or else even for nutrients. During the initial growth, onion needs regular waterings. Hence, keep the soil moist but not soggy. After 1 week of transplanting, you can apply any type of liquid fertilizer like compost tea or else seaweed fertilizer. If you prefer using water soluble fertilizers, I mean chemical fertilizers, then you can go for triple 19. But here you have to take half the concentration. For example, triple 19, the recommended dosage is 10 grams per liter of water. But in this case, you have to use only 5 grams per liter of water. Since the seedlings are very young and we can't take a risk of burning the plant by using chemical fertilizers. However, I never use chemical fertilizers in my garden. I purely use organic fertilizers only. And the plants will grow healthy and they will be very resistant to drought as well as pest and diseases by using organic fertilizers, as well as the microbial growth will be enhanced in the soil by using organic fertilizers, whereas using chemical fertilizers may lead to accumulation of salts in the soil, which ultimately uh, make a stress on the plant livelihood. You might be asking which fertilizer I have used. So I had used an organic fertilizer which I had prepared by blending different ingredients, and it is specially made for root crops like onion, radish, carrot, garlic, beetroots, etc. And it is 384 of NPK, 3% of nitrogen, 8% of phosphorus, and 4% of potassium. For better root growth, phosphorus is the most vital nutrient. Hence, using a high phosphorus fertilizer helps in better bulb yield. So this is a 16-inch pot, and I have planted almost around 12 to 14 seedlings. And the recommended dosage of my fertilizer is, for a 16-inch pot, I had used 50 to 75 grams of my fertilizer, and this will feed for 30 to 35 days. After adding any sort of dry fertilizer, it is recommended to rake the soil, because the soil contains microorganisms, and organic fertilizers need to be broken down by the microorganisms. So a better contact with the soil along with the fertilizer will help the breakdown more efficiently, and it also helps the plant to absorb the nutrients quickly. And after adding my 384 NPK fertilizer, the results will be visibly seen in 7 days after application. Here in this 18-inch pot, I have directly added my organic fertilizer, but I did not rake the soil because here I have planted the seedlings very closely, so it was a bit unable to rake the soil. However, I have irrigated well, and the water will be seeped into the bottom layers of the soil along with the nutrients. Once the bulbs start to gain their size, reduce the waterings, as overwatering may lead to bulb rot. Of course, onion require more water to grow during their grand growth stage, but always remember, whenever it is required, then only you need to irrigate, but irrigate well. Always ensure regular waterings doesn't mean that you should water it daily. Regular waterings is whenever plant needs water, then you have to water. During the bulb formation, reduce the waterings, as I said earlier. Basically, onions are very hardy plants to pests and diseases. However, There are some common pests observed like tobacco caterpillar, cutworm, and onion thrips. Here you can see it's a tobacco caterpillar damage. What it does is the larvae goes into the leaf. The leaf is a hollow structure and it scrapes the chlorophyll by eating away the leaf. So this is a tobacco caterpillar. If you see this, just hand pick it and you can savage the insect, or else you can go for neem oil sprayings. If not, you can go for coragen spraying, which is a green toxicity chemical pesticide. It is also safe and it is being recommended in integrated pest management also. For onion, it's very important to rake the soil once in 15 days, because if the soil is loose, the bulbs will grow better. And if the soil is hard, the bulbs will be deformed. I mean, the bulbs will not be round, but it will be deformed. That case is usually observed in heavy black soils. And let us see the harvesting part. Harvestings will be ready after 5 months post transplantation. And if you are growing for spring onion or else green onion, 3 months after transplantation is sufficient. You can harvest your green onion. But for bulbs, it will take minimum of 4.5 to 5 months, depending upon the weather as well as the soil type and the nutrients you give to the plant. Here, as an organic grower and as a home gardener, I don't prefer huge bulb size onions as we get in supermarkets. I prefer a healthy, tasty, very good onions, which might be small in size, but they are very delicious to taste and they are very healthy. Most of the gardeners have a doubt regarding the harvesting of onions. The basic harvesting indicator for the crop is either identifying the bulb size when you are happy with the bulb size, or else the tops turn yellow and they will be dried. So that is the best indicator for harvesting your onions. If you don't harvest the onions in time, the plant will start to grow inflorescence, so-called the flower, and it will drain all the food from the bulb, and the bulb will become shrinky and it will be it is not feasible to consume it. So here you can see this is my first harvesting from one pot. You can see there are lot of onions which will be very sufficient for me and my family. And you can see the second harvest also. This is my second harvest, and here you can see lot of onions, red onions. They are very vibrant in color and they have attained a very good size, a decent size. Coming to the most important factor of harvesting, post-harvesting onion is the curing. Curing is an important operation which has to be carried out after harvesting, and here you need to remove the roots which had been emerged from the bottom of the onion and also remove the green stalk. And these onions need to be cured either in sun or else in shade for a period of 10 days. If you are curing it in sun, it is 10 days, and if you are curing it in shade, it takes almost 15 days. And these are the tops, greens, which I can use it as a spring onion in my cooking. And these are the most delicious, and this can be used in any type of dishes also. So we need not discard these greens. You can use them as spring onions. So after 15 days, these are my cured onions. The outer layer of this onion has been dried well, and it helps in maintain the moisture of the onion to be preserved for more than 3 to 6 months. So friends, that's it for this video. If you like this video, kindly give a thumbs up as well as share this video to your friends. And if you are a new viewer, please subscribe to my channel Simple Gardening. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.